everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amina. I am back to work now after a year on maternity leave, and my son is almost a year old in about a month and a half from now. So I just was doing some thinking about what I've learned during this year on maternity leave. And I know that it hasn't been a year that I ever expected to have, and I did miss out on loads of the baby things, the mother baby clubs, the going out with your mummy friends, the library, the singing, the swimming, and I mean, it is what it is. But I have learned so much from him, and there are obviously all these things that I'm going to mention today take with a pinch of salt because he is a baby and he obviously has no idea about emotions and empathy and all these things at the moment. Definitely things that I've looked at him and thought, actually that is what I should be doing a bit more, and that is something that I'm going to implement. And actually, by nature, when children are born, they have characteristics which we dim down over the years just because they're not seen as socially acceptable, or because we're trying to be a bit more compassionate or respectful of others. But actually, ultimately, a 10-month-old is very selfish, and the only thing that he thinks about is himself and what he wants. And sometimes, we should really be a bit more selfish with ourselves. And I do think that a lot of the time I don't put myself first. And so I thought about 5 things I've learned from him that obviously, like I said, please take them with a pinch of salt because, they don't take into account anyone else's feelings except for my own. But you know what? I do feel like sometimes you have to just love yourself, care for yourself, and do things for yourself. I post every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you want to see more content like this, then don't be afraid to click on the subscribe button to see more from me. So the first thing is to never take no for an answer. There are so many occasions when Sufyan will come up to me and want to grab something or want something from my hand, and he just won't take no for an answer until he gets the thing that he wants. And I think we need to do something a bit similar. I am very quick to, I wouldn't say give up, but I'm very quick to just think, oh, it's not going to happen, and oh, maybe this isn't meant for me and it's not going to work out, without fully kind of exhausting all of my options. If he can't reach something, he'll try to stand on something, or he'll try to climb up me, or he'll try to kind of pull something down. And obviously it can be quite dangerous, but we have a bit more capacity to understand danger. So a lot of times I feel like in my working life and in business where I don't get a response, or I might not hear what I want to hear, and I just kind of accept it thinking that that's just how it's meant to be, when actually if I approach things in a different way, or if I follow up with an email saying, hi, I haven't heard from you regarding my last question, my last query, is there an update, is there someone that I can speak to? And that's something that I actually implemented recently. That's definitely something that I've learned. The second thing is that learning is continuous, and like I said, he's 10 months now and he is learning something new every single day. And I'm not talking like some small little learning. I'm talking learning how to walk, learning how to crawl. Like, he's walking now, and he just turned 10 months, but he was able to walk at the start of 9 months, and so he crawled and at like 6 months, and then he learned how to walk, and then he learned how to, like, he's running around now, and it's a consistent learning process. He will see me do something and he's learned how to do that thing, and now he knows how to do it, and he'll keep on going back to repeat the action. And again, that is something that I want to implement in my life, that I might be past my formal education, I might have finished my PhD, but actually learning is something that we are always doing. With us, it may be a bit more intentional at this kind of stage of our lives. We have past our major milestones, and if we do want to learn something, it's probably because we're intentionally learning. On the topic of continual learning, I am excited to say that this video is sponsored by SKILLSHare. SKILLSHare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey, and it's for people that want to keep on learning, and it's for lifelong learners. I want to be like my 10-month-old and carry on learning. And so I actually picked out this class that the last class I've been watching actually. And on the topic of International Women's Day, it's about iconic women in history. And it's about actually illustrating and drawing women in history. And I thought that was quite interesting because I do love art and I have got a really artistic side, but I just don't have the time to actually sit down and practice, or to even look and learn and just try to gain some knowledge about how art is done. And I learned so much from it, and it really inspired me to kind of pick up a paintbrush and start. The amazing thing about SKILLSHare is that it's created specifically for learning, so there are no ads, which obviously we love, and they've got classes that are coming out every single time. Like every single time I go on the platform, there is a new class that I'm like, ooh, that's really interesting. Put it on my watch next list. It's only less than $10 a month, which is so cheap considering how many classes that you're actually getting. If you are interested, then the first 1,000 of you guys can click on the link in my description and you get a free trial of the premium membership, so you can explore your creativity and you can watch as many classes as you wish and learn as much as you want to learn, and maybe you can be as lifelong learners as my 10-month-old is. The third is, if you fall down, then get back up again. And this is such a relevant one for me, because I find that a lot of the time when I fail, when I feel like I failed, I tend to just wallow in self-pity. And this is something that Sufyan never does. He falls down, I think in 2 minutes he will fall down about 20 times and just get back up again, and just get up and fall down and get back up again, and just keep on going. And if he gave up after he fell down once, he would not be running around at 10 months old. Like he would just be, he's just like, you know what, I can crawl, I'm just going to carry on crawling. But actually the fact that he keeps on falling down, getting up, falling down, getting up, he's so resilient, and that is his nature, and that is the nature of a baby, and that we were all like that. And so that is something that I feel like I really want to kind of bring back into my personality, my characteristic, that resilience, and that sort of, you know, I failed or I didn't succeed necessarily at this thing, I'm not at perfection yet, but I am gonna get there. And all I need to do is keep on doing this thing over and over again. I want to learn another language, and one of the things that holds me back is that I don't feel good when I speak it, because I feel like it's quite broken and I'm not fluent like I am in English. And so I just stop. And that's so bad, because I'm stopping myself from learning and practicing, and that is how you learn. You fall down and you get back up again. The fourth is to watch, observe, and imitate. The number of times I'm doing something and I just see him looking at me from the corner, and then he just does that thing. And that's why a lot of the time you'll hear a saying, if you're a parent, that says, never tell your child what to do, show your child what to do. If you want them to read, don't tell them to read and you sit on your phone. Read in front of them and they'll read naturally. And that is so, so important, especially when it comes to us as adults. If we want to learn something, the best way is by imitating and kind of being inspired by others. And the one thing that I do when it comes to this is listening to podcasts, watching like films and movies, or speaking to people that I find inspiring. I don't follow people on Instagram or Twitter that are just like good looking or that have good, like great fashion sense. I follow people because I find them inspiring and that I want to learn and imitate their skill and their drive. And that is exactly what I like to do when I read books and when I listen to podcasts, especially, so the podcast I love is How I Built This by NPR. It's so good because it just there's so many different hosts that talk through the stories of how they built their businesses and how they came to success. And the one theme that runs through all of them is that they failed a number of times, and they even crashed and burned before they got to the success that they got to. And these are household names, and so it's really important to watch, learn, observe, and imitate. That is how we learn as babies, and that is how we still learn as adults as well. And it's just so fascinating. Like I have a cream that I use when I change his nappy, and he every time he sees me flick the lid open and then push it and take the cream off, he can now do that. He'll take the cream thing, whatever you call it, the tube, and then he'll turn it around to the side of the lid. He'll then look for where the ridge is, not just the ridge. He'll then flick it open with his finger. If he can't do his finger, he'll put it in his mouth, and then he'll take it up his mouth, and then he'll like go into the hole and try to skip. And that is, no one taught him how to do that. He saw me do that every single day, and that is how he learned. And that is exactly how I want to learn how to do things and how to kind of better myself in life. There's no reason why you need to struggle and try to figure out how to open something if you've seen someone do it already. And that's a huge lesson that I want to learn from him. Last but not least is know when enough is enough and know when you've burnt out. Sufyan's not afraid to cry if he's tired. He's not afraid to cry if he feels overwhelmed, or if there's too much going on, or if he just had enough of that situation. He would just, you know, flick it away. He would do that with his hand. And he's very, like, you know, he's very kind of vocal with, I don't want this anymore. I don't want any more food. I don't want, and those are kind of symbols, and those are signals that I listen to. If I'm feeding him and he starts spitting it out and he starts pushing me away, that means he's had enough. Like, he knows that he doesn't want any more. And that is why I also want to try to implement that in my life as well. I sometimes don't know when I've done enough. I don't know, like today, for example, it's currently, what time is it? It's almost 6 p.m. I went to work this morning. So I woke up at 7 o'clock, got Sufyan ready, took him to his grandparents, been at work all day, so I've been working literally all day, came home, filming this video, gonna edit it tonight, and I don't know when I've done enough, basically. Like, I've been working on the business, on Page Doctor stuff, and I don't have a limit. And that's the problem, because what happens is, yeah, right now I'm all well and good. Come 9 o'clock, I will be knocked out on that sofa. And so it's so important to understand when you've done enough and when you've had enough. And that's what leads to burnout, and it definitely isn't healthy. And so I think it's really important to understand when you need a break, when you've had enough, when you don't want any more, and kind of like to yourself. This isn't even for anyone else, this is literally for yourself. If you feel like you've been sitting at your desk for 2-3 hours and you now need a break, get up, go and have that break, and be quite strict with yourself. And that is kind of how you work best productively, and also kind of most efficiently and most effectively. I hope that you guys found this video interesting, at least a little bit. Those are a couple of things that I've learned. I'll probably do another one in a couple of months, because I learn things from him every single day. Like I said, these are innate characteristics that we've all done and we've all been as a baby, and then you kind of unlearn them growing up because of society and because of other pressures and whatever. And they're so important. They're vital for survival, and they're vital for communicating without actually being able to speak. And so they clearly have some sort of use. And so they're definitely things that I want to try to implement a bit more in my life. But like I said earlier, this video is sponsored by SKILLSHare, and I'd absolutely love it if you click on the description down below for your premium membership, so you can experience learning and you can experience sort of the classes that I've been taking. I also have my own class there as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.